What's up, guys, and welcome to Fallstrukter, the only game you can play where through falling you learn the structure of your soul. Let's begin the game. Start off. What is this game? What do we do in this game? Well, we fall down a structure. Obviously, this is your structure, and we're falling down it. First of all, a common question people ask is, well, why can't you just fall down to the bottom, right? That would be the sensible thing to do, right? So let's try falling down to the bottom. Now notice that my screen went all gray and monochrome, and once we hit the bottom, we actually end up back at the top. So there's only like a certain amount you can fall down to not die, and the goal is to make it all the way to the bottom, of course, without taking too much fall damage and dying. Now, there's a few clever skips I like to use here. First one is like, hugging the wall as you're falling down there. The second one actually comes here. It's pretty easy to do. Well, the first part of it is. Normally, you're blocked off from going this way. You can't really... Well, you can scale this cage wall, which is pretty fun, but like once you get to the top, you just sort of sink down to the bottom. What I like to do to get around that is I like to go over here into this corner, and then just hold jump and run against the corner, and you end up here. And what you could do from up here is you can just very slowly just hug the wall, and you can end up down here. And then you can run off and end up here. And that, I think, saves like a bit of platforming or something. I'm sure it skips something. Now, this part is a little bit finicky because there's a lot of sloped platform. You gotta look out for those, because when your character lands on a surface, he often tends to bounce. Be sure when you're landing somewhere, it's as level as possible. Yeah, of course, you can, like, if you're landing on a slope that's too steep, you can always try, like, jumping to save yourself. But yeah, this is the part where you gotta be real careful. Okay. Because of this game's, like, how your character interacts with walls, you can sort of just, like, wall jump off of steep slopes, which like makes it easier to recover. Of course, I'm not jumping all the time. Of course, there's like sometimes your character will just bounce, sort of like that, and you can sort of make your way down these steep slopes here by just sort of hugging them and then jumping if you need to reduce your speed. All right, now we gotta be extremely careful here because really it's one fuck up and you're dead. But yeah, of course, once you get down here, everything's just smooth sailing, and then you make your way to the bottom. And that's the entire game in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. But yeah, there's nothing really to do once you're down here. You can just like take a step back and look at the giant structure you fell off of. And this area, like this area down here at the bottom, it is like very, it's limitless. Like it really is, like it really just goes on forever. Like I spent like 10 minutes walking like in the same direction and I didn't really get anywhere. You could go a really far distance away from this. Now that game may have seemed easy. People are saying, "Oh, that's too easy." We need something with a bit more challenge, a bit more flair. Well, don't worry. I'm gonna give that to you right now, because there's another game I'm gonna play. What's up again? And welcome to Only Down, the game where you go only down. Well, here we go. Yeah, this game's premise is sort of the same thing as Fallstrukters in the sense that you're supposed to fall to the bottom instead of going up. And obviously, as you can see, there's no fall damage being done to this man. So, like, what's the catch? What exactly is supposed to add difficulty to what I'm doing right now? Well, you see this giant chamber right here? It has this giant trampoline in it. If you fall down on it, it'll just bounce you all the way back up to the top. A simple question to propose: how are we supposed to get around this? How are we supposed to get around this obstacle? And to that, I'd say, ask yourself the question again, because your question contains the answer. We literally just go around it. Just like move yourself around it. See if you like maneuver yourself well enough that you could do this sort of like move where you can just like maneuver around the trampoline chamber, I'll call it, without having to actually like go back up to your previous checkpoint. And also another comment I'd like to make: you gotta love the royalty-free rock music that plays while you're falling, because of course there's royalty-free rock music in this game. Oh, okay, we fell through it. Oh, and we're getting sucked back in. Yeah, there's sort of like this like gravity chamber that's sort of like supposed to like suction you back towards the center to prevent you from, you know, going outside of the like bounds to like skip the trampoline. But it's not really that powerful. So all it really does is just like pull you around and add to your momentum. And if you sort of like chain the pull that you get from the sort of suction that's keeping you in the center, you can sort of use the centrifugal force to like launch yourself out of the play area where you're supposed to be. You can see how my guy is sort of getting pulled back towards the center when he's like not really supposed to be being pulled. Okay, now really what the optimal thing I should do here is hit this trampoline. That'll take me to this checkpoint. Because, fun fact, if you hit the orange trampoline down at the last checkpoint, this game has this sort of theme where its last checkpoint, if you fail at it, it just sort of sends you back all the way to the fucking, like, 2 checkpoints before it. So yeah, just, like, try not to... Oh yeah, and if you ever find yourself falling into this trampoline, just, like, save scum your way out of it by going to the checkpoint. And then you can just try again from there. Oh yeah, and can we just, like, admire how Chad-like our character is? Just like, look at his jawline, bro. Well, let's go back up and look at that jawline. Oh my goodness. This guy's absolutely chiseled, bro. He's like that guy at ASU who frame modded Clavicular. If any of you know who I'm talking about, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, I do not blame you, because it is quite literally the stupidest news that I've ever heard in my entire life. Yeah, once you're sort of down here, we're gonna go into bullet time so we can hit these stairs at a good angle, and we can just go up and over here, and we can fly towards this giant green trampoline. Now, aren't the trampolines bad in this game, you may ask? Well, some of them are good. Now, this one looks like it's taking us all the way up to the top, so we can do the entire course again, but like, this is a fake out. This is a fake out. You're supposed to hit that trampoline. There's like a green arrow pointing at it, and green means good. So obviously, good things come out of this interaction. Then after a long flight, we end up here. Now, which one do you guys think we should pick? Vote in the comments below. Do you think we should go on the red platform or the green platform? I'm choosing the red platform. I mean, you could go on the green platform if you want. Just like I'm not stopping you, but like that's not really optimal. I'm just gonna tell you that. All right, now once you make it down to hell, yeah, this is hell. By the way, you can sort of tell where the end is because there's a giant blue force field over the top of it, so you can't just directly fall on top of it. Yeah, after you fall down onto that giant ring. Now keep in mind, you don't have to fall to that ring. It is possible. The world record does this insane looking strategy where he just falls directly to the ending platform. I believe he bounces off of like that statue over there. So yeah, feel free to try it. I don't think it's really worth going for if you want to like beat the game in any capacity. But yeah, this is the ending right here, my time is 9:42, and it's possible to do this game in only a minute, I think. Like, I think it's either like a minute and 1 second or like just slightly under a minute. But don't worry, there's more. Welcome to Only Down Level 2. And right away, you could see they definitely learned from their mistakes from level 1, because if you try to go, like, if you try to go out, they made the trampoline that sends you to the top even bigger, which means now we're pretty much we're pretty much forced to fall into the center this time. But don't worry, I'm gonna make this look hella easy, easy as pie. See, there's the first layer, right? You just fall through the center, easy as that. I'm gonna do bullet time here, cause that fall is kind of tight. Oh, okay, I guess we're going straight into level 3. I'm not getting the checkpoint. Whatever, checkpoints are for wusses anyways. Yeah, we're just gonna like fall somewhere right here. We're just gonna like try to slow down. Okay, I don't think we're making it. Personally, I don't think we're making it. But that's okay, cause we're just gonna be sent back to this checkpoint anyway. All right, here we go. Attempt number 2. Come on. Will we make it this time? Tune in to find out. Here we go. Oh shit, we didn't make it. Now, usually a strategy I like to use, you know, when the other one doesn't really work too well, is I like to just like fall to this top platform and then just like bullet time, just sort of hug the wall. And once you like hit the top platform and you just make your way down smoothly enough, you'll end up at this ending platform here. And it's not really a trick question here. Follow the arrow. And then you'll end up in here. Now there's no checkpoint in this layer, so we sort of got to do this first try. But don't worry, I'm gonna make this look easy. We're a little bit off course, but that's fine. The game should sort of correct us. Now because we're headed at such like a steep angle, I could use that opportunity to land here, right? And from there, it's just easy as falling strategically down to the center. And from here, we can get to our next checkpoint pretty easily. And now this one with the tower, it looks difficult, but you can really just do this in one go by just falling through this small hole in the crane. You might need bullet time for it. Like, try to aim for like the ladder down at the bottom, and you could get your next checkpoint down here. This level's pretty simple too. You just gotta sort of like fall to this platform. Try not to hit any of the obstacles on your way down, of course. And then what I like to do is I like to fall to this cupboard and then just sort of try to bounce your way in there. Well, you know, it's kind of hard because like the cupboard is sort of slanted away from like the hole and all that. Oh, shit. Fuck. No. Well, sometimes the game... I don't know what's really wrong with that checkpoint down there, but it usually tends to just not work. And so the game just sends you back up to the fucking tower one instead. Yeah, it's really easy if you just if you know how to do it. All right, here we go. Attempt number 3. Here we go. Gonna activate bullet time. Precise precision. Okay, I didn't mean to be that precise, but it oh well, I'm a god at this game. All right, here we go. Hopefully we don't fuck this up this time. All right, here we go. Land on the big platform. Big platform. That's always the first step. Oh, okay. I didn't really mean to land up here, but like, oh well. I guess it achieved the same sort of result. Now there is a way. It's not really optimal if you're like going for a speed run, but there's always a way to do it without falling. This game was actually designed for you to not fall, but like due to falling being so fast and like your movement being so precise, falling is actually considered overpowered in this game. But yeah, once you're done with that level, you can come over here and grab this checkpoint. Now these next 2 checkpoints can be a little bit difficult, but if you know the right strategies, you can pass them very easily. For example, I like to reduce my speed a little bit, just like okay, don't get this is another thing. Don't get like any of your limbs stuck like I have here, because once you get like a limb stuck, you can't do fucking shit. Oh well, in that case, well, if you have your limb stuck right there, just get up. Just get up and walk away, man. It's like losing a leg in real life. Just get up and walk away. But yeah, I like to fall to this boat right here because these two oars can sort of catch you. Then just like I like to be pretty careful here. Just like jump up here, and then you can make your way down here pretty easily. Now here's speaking of losing a limb. Here's one thing I never really understood. Now I have a job in sort of like healthcare, right? Like a medical one. But one thing I could never understand is phantom pain. Like the concept of phantom. And I'm not talking about like the VR furry kind. I'm talking about like the if you lose a limb and it still hurts kind of pain. But like why does it happen? I'm not even sure. I know like if you get your leg amputated, you're sort of like missing like the nerve endings in your leg, and the brain tries to say, "Oh, this part of my body is hurting," but it can't because that part of your body is not there, and that's the really mystifying part to me. I like to have pretty low speed for this last checkpoint here because, like, you know, there's a lot of sloped things you can land on, and that just can send you off course. Now, what we're aiming for is this red bucket. It's very small, but if you aim it just right, you can land in it like this. And that's a pretty easy skip for the last one. Well, if you use bullet time. If you don't use bullet time, well, I don't know what the hell you're doing. But like, keep going. It's probably faster if you don't use bullet time. And just like before, your character takes a long, slippy, slidey ramp down to the finish. Of course, you could get some massive air off of this ramp. There's like a lot of lips in there. You can get a lot of air. And eventually, once we hit this giant green trampoline, it's going to send us all the way back up to the top again. You know, because this game loves reoccurring gags, apparently. But then it's going to send us down here into this snow globe-looking thing. Also, we just sort of, like, pass through the glass. I don't know how we do that, but, like, apparently we have some kind of superpower where we're just, like, impertinent to glass or something. Now, this final fall is kind of precise. See, what you're meant to do is you're supposed to fall down here, right? And you're supposed to, like, navigate your way through this obstacle course, right? But actually, the end, if you go backwards, it's almost, like, sort of hidden away so that you can't see it. But that's like that's like the premise for most of the levels, right? The end is like covered up by a lot of shit, so you can't just fall directly on top of it. But what we can do is a little skip I managed to conjure up. Fall, use bullet time. You see, like, get a certain angle sort of going. You can sort of reach the end platform sort of like that, but like you don't fall off, right? Also, I recommend you not fall down there, because if you fall down there, it's gonna send you like 3 checkpoints backwards. Then you have to do the fucking tower level again and fall down here. I find it easier if you use bullet time. Start sort of making your way forward, and then just hope to God you end up on the cloud. Well, if you don't, that's fine too. You can always just go back to checkpoint, and it'll spawn you back up to the top, so you can do it again. It's always better to do that instead of, you know, falling and sucking 10,000 dicks at the same time. Oh, we got it this time. Yep. Oh, okay. Is there even a possibility we make it back? Is there even a slight? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're up here now. I don't know how we got here. This is not a planned part of the video. I didn't plan this, but we are stuck. We're stuck here now. This is quite a predicament. But no, I'm not gonna accept that. I'm not gonna accept being in purgatory forever. Why accept being in purgatory when you could take the heavens for yourself? Come on, here we go. This is it. This is gonna be the it. This is gonna be the one. Yep, here we go. And we done it. We did it. Okay. So yeah, this is the ending platform down here. As you can see, it took 9 minutes and 5 seconds this time. Oh yeah, and also there's collectibles too, but I usually just don't tend to bother with those. And if you step on this platform here, it sends you all the way back up to the top, so you could do the whole thing all over again. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I know these games were weird. I wanted to do it sort of like reverse Fadian type of video, like where you go down instead of up. But if you like this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you want to, maybe leave a comment down below. I always love reading the comments. But yeah, that'll be it for this time, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna burn myself to death.